Welcome back, Carnivore fans. We have another episode. This episode is top 5 European cars. Now, we don't really have any limit, but you know,
right.
I tried to keep it kind of reasonable, but some of these cars are definitely on the high side, and I tried to do a kind of a scatter shot.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I didn't include any kind of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, anything too ridiculous. I tried to keep it probably up to like low 100,000s, like 110, 120. But like you said, no official limit.
Yeah. So the first car that you have, Miles, then?
Yeah, so my first car is the 2017 Porsche 911 Targa 4. Now, this obviously isn't the 911 that most people would probably pick. You know, a lot of people would go for a turbo or a GT3 RS or something like that, but you know, those are a little bit too expensive. I really love the look of the Targa, Walter. I think that it really reminds me of the original Targa. You know, in the 90s they did this weird Targa thing with the kind of the sliding glass roof. It just looked kind of weird. This has, I think, really great looks. It's got this ridiculously over-engineered roof that it's like kind of this clamshell design, but I think it's pretty cool. And you know, it's not a particularly fast car when you compare it to other 911s, but it's no slouch. 370 horsepower, 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds, four-wheel drive, obviously with the Targa 4 model. Starts at about $110,000. Obviously you can option it up and probably double that, but I don't know. For me, I think this is one of my favorite 911s.
Okay. Well, I chose a Jaguar F-Type R. And,
good choice.
Yeah. You know, Ian Cullum also designed the F-Type as he designed many of the Aston Martins. And I think it's just a great looking vehicle. 550 horsepower, 502 pounds of torque, 3,900 pounds, 0 to 60, 3.9 seconds, and kind of comes in at about 100 grand.
Yeah, I love the F-Type. In fact, I love it so much I chose one too. I went for the F-Type SVR, so a little bit more expensive. But for that extra money, you're getting about 575 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, and 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. So you're shaving almost half a second there off the speed, top speed of 200 miles an hour. I mean, it's an awesome car already, and this car I think just takes it up to the next level. These beautiful quilted leather seats. It's got that carbon fiber rear wing on the back that moves up and down. I just think it's the best of the F-Type.
So Miles, you're willing to pay $1,000 per horsepower?
Well, absolutely, if it's not my money, which I thought was the...
Because, you know, the F-Type R has 550 horsepower, so 25 more horsepower, and you're paying 20 grand more.
That's a good point, Walter. I was never very good with math, so I didn't really think about it like that. But you do raise a good point. I mean, for the money, the F-Type R is probably the way to go, because you're getting, you know, you're getting a pretty great car.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, we agree that it is an awesome looking car.
Yeah, but you know, one other thing, Walter, with the SVR, I would option it without that rear wing at the back, because personally, I don't. It looks okay, but I think it looks a little bit cheesy. I think it looks better without the wing.
Yeah, that would be a smart move. Or you could just get the R and you don't even have to worry about it.
Or I could get the R, and I get the R, and I could spend $5 on eBay and get an SVR badge, put it on there.
There you
go.
There you go. Okay, so for my next car, I chose a Mercedes S-Class 550, has 450 horsepower, weighs a massive 4,800 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot.
I mean, they must, what are they making these cars out of, lead or something?
Yeah, seriously, iron perhaps.
Yeah, and I mean, that weighs more than a lot of SUVs, even, right?
But you're getting a lot of luxury, I mean, in this car, so, you know, it's going on the right kind of things, the things that you want, opulent seating and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah, very, very luxurious inside,
right,
you know.
Right.
And 0 to 60 is 4.4 seconds, and comes in at about 100 grand.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great price point for the amount of luxury you're getting, and also all the great performance too.
Yep.
Alright, so my next car here is the 2017 Giulia Quadrifoglio from Alfa Romeo. Now, you know, a lot of people might go for an M3 or an S4 or something like that. I really like the Giulia line. You and I drove one recently. I think it looks great. I think the car looks fantastic. And, you know, the nice thing about the Quadrifoglio that the other cars don't have is you've got this beautiful Ferrari-derived 2.9 litre V6 twin-turbo engine, 3.5 seconds to 60, 505 brake horsepower, and that Tri-Rosso red paint I just think looks absolutely fantastic. And you know, it's like another 2 grand I think to option that paint, but You just got to do it. You just
Yeah,
got to take the plunge.
that's money well spent as far as I'm concerned.
You know, just save some money on groceries. Don't feed your kids for a few weeks, something like that. You know, it's worth it. So this is really the next best thing to a Ferrari sedan, which doesn't exist. So really, it's the only thing. But yeah, it starts at about $77,000 for the Quadrifoglio.
So I also chose another Porsche. I chose Porsche Cayman GTS. So you know, I tend to look at the Cayman S's, but the Cayman GTS is actually, it has a lot of options already in the vehicle, and it comes in at about 75 grand, weighs 3,000 pounds, 340 horsepower, 280 pounds of torque. So, you know, just a very capable, fun vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not over bloated, kind of like the 911. Some people think that the 911 is over bloated. I think it is today too.
Yeah,
and you know, the Cayman is a mid-engine car. I mean,
yeah.
that's such a great vehicle, and Porsche really should kind of capitalize on it, and they don't. So
yeah. No, I agree. In fact, I went for a Cayman too. I didn't go for the GTS, I just went for the S, because for me the GTS, I like some of the more luxury touches in a car, so for me I like the Cayman S a little bit over the GTS. But I agree, it's a great looking car. I think it looks better than a 911. I think that mid-engine rear-wheel drive configuration is just better for a true sports car. You know, and with the S, you know, 350 brake horsepower, 0 to 60, 4.4 seconds. That's not as quick as a GTS, but it's no slouch. You know, it's a quick car. And, you know, and it's also a little bit cheaper, $67,000 starting price. Although, to be fair, as soon as you start optioning out these cars online, you pretty much add 50% to the cost within about 5 minutes. It's very easy to get carried away. But, you know, the Cayman, I think, is a very solid car.
So the next car I chose is another Porsche. It is the Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo. Miles, do you know what...
Wait, hang on, sorry, I just got to back up here a second. You said the Porsche Panamera?
Yes.
Are you feeling okay? Should we call it doctor? You can't be serious. It's one of the ugliest cars that money unfortunately can buy.
It is, but you know, every time I see, you know, a Panamera on the road, you know, it looks like a very, very capable car. I mean, it is ugly. I
Wow.
agree. Yeah.
Right.
But the Turismo is kind of like the station wagon, right? And who would ever have thought that Porsche would have built a station wagon?
You're not making a case here, Walter. You're taking an
Come
ugly car.
on, that is cool. I think
All
that's
right,
cool.
fine. All right.
I think it's cool. So, 440 horsepower, 400 pounds of torque, 0 to 60, 4.2 seconds.
All right.
105 grand.
You can't deny the stats. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. And I have heard that it's actually a great car to drive and a pretty nice interior too. So maybe you just don't look at the exterior. You kind of blindfold yourself and get in, and then just look at the interior.
Exactly. Well, you know, when you're driving it, you're not seeing the outside.
That's true. Just don't look in any mirrors or shop windows.
Right.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for it on that one. So for my last car here, I went for the BMW M2. Now, you know, you might say, well, the M2, well, Miles, why don't you get the M3 or the M4? I mean, surely that's the car to get. That's the one with all the heritage. The M2 is a brand new car. But, you know, I like the size of the M2 more than I think the M3 or the M4. You see too many of the M3s and the M4s around. They're too common. It's kind of the car everyone goes for. The M2 is a great size. I think it looks fantastic. It's kind of like a souped-up hot hatch. It's got a great performance, 0 to 60, 4.1 seconds, 365 brake horsepower. You know, it starts at $53,000. I actually think it's a great value car. I'm kind of considering one of these one day because I think you're getting a lot there for the money.
Yeah, 53 grand starting. That's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so my last car, I chose yet another German car and another Mercedes. And I really like this car. It's the Mercedes-AMG GTS.
Oh, yeah.
I test drove one of these cars, and it's an extremely capable car. I mean, I would love to own one of them, but they are quite expensive. This one comes in at about 138 grand, but it has 515 horsepower, 494 pounds of torque, and 0 to 60 is roughly about 3 seconds. So.
I mean, that's extremely quick. Actually, for the money, I think that's pretty incredible because that's kind of like hypercar performance,
sure.
Almost,
that's
so
true.
for a lot less money. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for other top 5 videos or any other videos you want to see us do, don't forget to comment below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Until next time, thanks for watching.
And we hope to see you on the road.
I forgot who's signing off.
I started. So
okay, so it's my turn. Right. Okay.
All right. There's our blooper.